What's up, you guys? My name is Matt, and in this video, we're going to be talking about a project that has crazy upside potential. The kind of upside potential that people saw when they got in on the first run of Hex when it went crazy, the kind of potential of people who got in early on Drip when it went on a mega run. That's the kind of potential that we're talking about with Whales Candy. Now, I'm definitely not telling you that it's going to do that. I'm just saying it has the recipe. It's got the ingredients and the tokenomics that you need to have this sort of crazy price appreciation happen. But that's the kind of lopsided potential that as a DeFi investor, you're really looking for, where what you could earn extremely outweighs the amount that you're risking on the investment. And I do say risking on purpose because it's DeFi and it's a risk. But there's a lot going on that I like with this protocol. There's a lot of excitement building in a lot of different communities. There's a lot of big players that are already looking at this protocol that are excited about it. And that's one thing you have to pay attention to is where's money flowing? At its core, you can think about Whales Candy like a top 10 playlist of the last 5 years of DeFi, where they went through and took the very best parts of protocols that made them successful and left all the bad parts out. And they took all those parts and made this sort of Frankenstein of a new protocol that combined those best features. And I'll do my best to explain those features and benefits in this video. As far as I know, there are 4 people on the core team of Whales Candy, one of them being Frank, this guy right here, who's the lead developer, which they have a Whales Candy YouTube channel that you guys can check out. He's got 2 videos on there. One of them's talking about contract security and the measures they put in place to make sure that the contract is immutable and safe. So you guys go check that out. But you can see Frank himself is doxxed. The other members are not doxxed. So I know that's important to some people, and to some people that doesn't mean much, but for what it's worth, there's Frank. You can take a look there. Also, I know one of the other founders is an OG dripper, and he's been in the communities and in the space for quite a while, and people think that he's respectable and trustworthy. So that says something to me right there. He was around for the beginning of Drip. He's been in Hex. He's been in Strongblock, a lot of these different protocols, and that's why they've taken this collective gleaning of information, and they've tried to take all the good things from those projects and put them into one sort of hybrid super project that is now Whales Candy. So Whales Candy is on the Binance Smart Chain. And when you go to the website, you're going to think to yourself, well, okay, this is an auction lobby protocol. Well, that is true, but that's not all that it is, because this is the way that the tokens are distributed. You can't go and buy them off PancakeSwap like you normally could with another token. If you tried, you'd get hit with an 80% tax. There are 2 different ways you can actually buy the Whales Candy or WC token. One of them is by entering the daily auction. And if you're not familiar with auction lobby tokens, I'll quickly break it down for you. In this case, there are 2 million tokens available in the lobby each day. And as a strategy, you want to enter the auction lobby when there aren't as many deposits made. Right here on this day, there were 33 deposits made, and people got 59,000 WC tokens for 1 BNB. But on this day over here, there were 114 BNB deposited, and people only got 17,000 per 1 BNB. So you get the idea that you can get a really good deal on WC tokens. There's a timer up in the right-hand corner that tells you how much time is left in this day's auction. So on this day, this is day number 6. There's 13 hours and 8 minutes left in this auction. So if you're thinking about entering through the auction, a strategy could be to wait till the end of the auction day right before it and see if this amount is still low, to see if WC is still a good price. Now, a lot of that is a gamble because people wait and they snipe big giant buys right in at the end. So you never really know what's going to happen. For instance, yesterday I bought in with 1 BNB when the total deposits were 38 BNB and they ended up being 114 BNB. So you really don't know. Part of it is a guessing game. The second way that you can buy the WC token is by going to the staking page, and then you go to this discounted buy and stake. And what you're going to do is you're going to put the amount of BNB that you want. You can see right here, 1 BNB is only going to get me 4,218 WC tokens. The reason that is if you jump over to the price chart, you can see that the WC tokens are worth 0.07. And doesn't that chart look beautiful? Now we're going to talk about the chart and why it looks like this in just a second. But my point is, for right now, the better deal seems to be entering through the auction. Remember, I put in 1 BNB, and you can look at my stake. I actually ended up getting 17,000 WC for that 1 BNB. If I were to enter here and buy it straight, I'd only get 4,218. So this is where the game theory comes into play with the auction lobby and what makes it so gamified and fun for people to get into, because you can get really amazing deals. So this is how you get the WC token. But what happens after it's staked? Once your WC tokens are staked, you earn 1% a day on those WC tokens. So it's a lot like Drip and other ROI dApps that you guys have been in, where you get 1% a day paid to you. So they say it pays 265% APR. The reason they say that is because in 100 days, the user should receive 100% of their initial deposit back. So what's left is 265 days where you're going to get 1%. So that's why they say 265. They're just subtracting your initial deposit that you put in. Now, if the token is doing this, you're going to get to that point way faster. Now, again, this might reverse and come back, and it might take you longer. So this is the other part of the strategy that you need to factor in. When you get these WC tokens, when do you sell them? Do you hold them? Do you rebuild your position in them? And this is part of the game theory that you need to be thinking about when building your position if you want to get in whales candy. I do want to point out that however many WC tokens you get from the auction, it's auto-staked for you over here. So people won't get a bunch of loose WC tokens to dump on people's heads. It gets auto-staked. The same goes for when you buy it right here and you buy these tokens. They're going to be, see how it says buy and stake? It's going to go right into a stake. So that's another reason why you can't buy it on PancakeSwap, because they need to be able to control the fact that they don't want a bunch of loose circulating supply that people can dump on people's heads, because that's the problem with most ROI dApps in the space. So this is one way they're trying to solve that problem. Okay, this next feature is actually very cool, and it's the reason the price chart looks the way that it does. So Whales Candy has their liquidity pool on PancakeSwap, and every day, 4% of that liquidity pool is going to be used to buy back and burn the WC token. So for example, if there was $1 million in liquidity, the contract would remove $40,000 worth of BNB and $40,000 worth of WC tokens, and then it would burn the WC by sending it to a dead address. And then it would take the BNB that was removed when you broke apart the LP, and it would use it to buy back more WC, and it would take those bought back tokens and send them to the dead address. So the equivalent of $80,000 in this example of WC tokens would be taken and sent to a dead address. And they say this should have a direct impact on price appreciation. And so far, that's exactly what's happening. So these big spike ups is because of that 4% daily burn. So it has this big built-in buy pressure every single day on the token. Now, when people start accumulating their dividends, their 1% every day of WC tokens, of course, people are going to sell, and you should. And you should be thinking that way of when to take your profits. So we'll have to see how this really shakes out. I think the key factor to make this work is they have to have a mechanism that builds liquidity quickly. And they believe they have that with this auction lobby style that generates massive amounts of liquidity. Because you can see here, 241 BNB on day 1, 33, 92, 76, 114. This day just started. There's already 26 BNB contributed. And check this out. There's only 434 people in the protocol so far. There could be tens of thousands of people in this protocol if it really catches fire. You can only imagine what this is going to look like if that happens. The next forced price appreciation mechanism that they have is they have a maintenance fee on the stakes. So if we go back to my stakes over here, you can see I have one stake. And the way this works is every week I have to pay $2 in USDC as a maintenance fee to be able to do anything on the stake, to be able to claim or reinvest or take an action on the stake. You can see when I hit claim, it's going to pop open a box that says users must pay a 2 USDC fee per week and per stake to claim rewards. This fee goes to buying back and burning WC token. So it tells you what your current fee is. So if I want to do that, I've got to approve that, and then I would be able to claim those tokens. If I do nothing for 2 weeks, then when I go to do something after 2 weeks, I'll owe $4 USDC on the stake. Now, before you think that's a bad idea, what it actually does is number one, it keeps people from hyper compounding small stakes and growing them super big, because their maintenance fee is going to cost more than they're actually making in the protocol. Most people aren't going to do that. But number two, this maintenance fee is not going into the pocket of the dev. It's actually going to buy back and burn more WC tokens. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this could play out. Let's pretend like there's 1,000 people in the protocol, and each of them has on average, let's say 3 different stakes. I think that's pretty average that most people are going to have 3 stakes. Some are going to have a lot more than that. So that's 3,000 separate stakes with this example. Now, remember, they're paying $2 a week. So that is $6,000 a week times 4 is going to be $24,000 in this example a month that the protocol is going to take and use it to actually buy and burn more WC tokens. So it's another built-in mechanism. And you can see right here, this is the amount that's collected. This is that 2% fee. So far, they've collected $237. And the other cool part is anyone can trigger the USDC buyback. It can happen, I believe, once a week. Anyone can just trigger the buyback and it'll happen. And it's going to purchase WC tokens and send them to the dead address. Additionally, this is where it's kind of interesting for people that are in drip. And there's a lot of people. Remember, there's over 100,000 people in the drip community. So anything that supports drip, they're going to love. And remember, one of the core founders of this project is a dripper and is still in drip and loves drip. So during the initial phase of the launch, 20% of the USDC will go towards buying back and sending drip to the tax vault. So this is something that they can change. And they're open about the fact that they can change it. When I talk to the dev, he doesn't have any intention of changing it right now. So in our example, $24,000, 20% of that. So if you do 20% of that, that would be $4,800 that would go to buy back and burn drip. That's not going to do anything crazy, but at least it's something to support other protocols. And what it does is it taps into a huge user base that's going to now embrace this project for doing so. So they've got a way to hyperbuild liquidity. They have a mechanism with that 4% buyback and burn daily to spike the price, combined with the $2 a week on every single stake that you have. That's going to also force the price up and help combat some of the sell pressure when people start taking their profits. You can see some of the projects that influenced them to build Whales Candy was Hex, Wise Token, which I know a lot of people love that. Strong Block, which is where they got their maintenance fee idea from, and the Drip Network, which is where they got their 1% a day idea from. Because of the mass adoption that Drip has had, they wanted to have this mechanism in there, and then they have that anti-cheat mechanism that auto stakes everybody and keeps everyone from having giant bags of loose WC tokens that they could openly dump on the market at any time. I'm going to have the white paper linked in the description where you guys can go through all of that. They do have an audit from OXGuard, which you guys can read through and make sure that it meets all the requirements that you want to see before investing. But the way I'm looking at this is, and what's getting me excited about it, is not only the tokenomics, because it seems like a protocol that other protocols aren't scared of letting their members get involved in. This is a very tribal space, and it's almost cult-like how people defend and say anything else other than their project is junk. For some reason, that isn't happening with this project. I see a lot of big people from other protocols looking at this and actually getting involved in it. And one of the hardest things for any project to do, especially in a bear market, is to build a raving fan base, a group of people that are extremely excited that's actually growing. So it's a bit early for me to say that about this project, but I feel the rumblings. I feel people getting excited. So we're going to have to wait and see how this plays out. Again, this is risky. This is DeFi. Nothing is guaranteed, but you're looking at all these elements and you're trying to make a good assessment of what is possible. If this could do something like Hex price appreciation or Drip price appreciation, there could be something pretty special going on. And it's super early. This is day number 6, you can see. Okay, a couple other quick things that you need to know about when we're talking about stakes. Like I said, every stake you're going to have 2 USDC that you owe per week on that stake as a maintenance fee. So in other auction lobby protocols, sometimes the game theory was, let's say you had $1,000, it was to split it up, and each day you put in $200, trying to get the best average price of whatever the lobby token is. In this case, it's the WC token, the Whales Candy token. Now, I don't think personally that's the best idea here, because you're going to end up with 5 different stakes that you owe $2 on, and they're smaller. So my way of looking at it, and I could be totally wrong, you guys can come up with your own game theory, but it's probably best to have fewer bigger stakes than a bunch of small stakes. It's really not the way to go. And another part of that is when you hit the reinvest button, you need to know this. It's actually going to create a new stake for you. It's not going to be added to your original stake. So it's not like compounding it. So you're going to end up with, in my case, let's say I did that. I have 33 WC tokens available. It's going to create a new stake with 33 tokens. I don't want that because it's going to take forever for me to get enough tokens to even pay the $2 a week fee. You got to think through these things. Do you want to let this stack up and do you want to just claim it and then, take your profits whenever the price appreciates? Do you want to stack it up and then create another big, large stake on top of that? So that's some game theory for you to think about. Additionally, when you enter the lobby and that lobby day ends, when you go to the staking page, you're going to have a dialog box that tells you, do you want to just go ahead and stake your tokens, or do you want to enter a referral code for someone that got you into the protocol? You don't need a referral code. It's only to help people out. It doesn't make you get less tokens. It just benefits them. So if you want to do that, that's totally up to you. You would just take their referral code and put it in the box and hit stake. And whatever you get a referral bonus from somebody, that 5%, it's going to come to you as WC tokens that are already staked. And those stakes that are created by referrals, they're probably going to be kind of small. So what they did is they waived that 2 USDC fee per week. So if you have referral stakes, you're not going to have the maintenance fee. I thought that was pretty cool they did it that way. Now, one more thing I want to bring your attention to is that there's a 30% dev fee in the project, which is kind of outrageous for a lot of people. But the way that they work it is you get 100% of whatever you put in. I put in one BNB, I got 100% of the value of that BNB in WC tokens. So it doesn't make you get any less. The dev just gets that 30% fee. From that, they're going to be pushing the project forward. They're going to be able to pay for marketing. They're going to be able to do website updates and DApp updates. They're going to be able to actually take that and make this thing grow. Now, I'm totally fine with that as long as they're actually using it for those purposes. And we can actually see there's some great marketing going on, and we can actually see that the project is actually growing. And additionally, they didn't do a pre-sale or any kind of a raise to raise money to start this project. So they have to have some funds to be able to do that. And I guess this was their way of doing that. If you're outraged by the 30%, then maybe this project isn't for you, but at least I want to make you guys aware of it. They're open and honest about it. They're not trying to hide anything. It's not in their white paper, but it is in their Git book, and it can be found in the audit. So that's it, you guys. That's my review of Whales Candy token. I wanted to make sure I got this to you guys early. It's only day number 6. Please join their Telegram group and get all of your questions answered. Read the audit, read the Git book, and only invest in this project if it meets your investing criteria. I also want to invite you to join my free Telegram group, the 0 to 100K Project, which is a group of like-minded people that all have the same goal in mind, and that is to create $100,000 a month in passive income and change their financial lives forever. I'll have a link for that down in the description below. I would love to see you guys there. I think you'll love it. That wraps up this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I hope you got some good value from it today. And if you did, please show me by hitting the like button and subscribe to my channel. You guys are amazing. I love you, and I'll see you in the next video.